objective of this session is basically to talk about the collaborative approach that we are introducing now in the way that we work with the provider community. I think that when we go up and understand how do we do things together, how do we engage our clients today, I think that as you guys are seeing this in the way that you engage with your clients, we are changing the way that we engage with our clients and the way that we are engaging with you. So all of these changes that we are seeing and with our clients and the way that we want to engage with you comes from different reasons. And as Kevin was talking about earlier, I think that the overall sourcing model, the sourcing services are being delivered is changing. And Avasant is seeing all these changes based on the different kind of market capabilities that we're seeing out there and how technologies and different platforms are being implemented and how the overall vendor landscape and client engagement is changing. So we're seeing all of these things changing, and as we see all these changes in the way that they contract with you, the way that they engage with you, we are changing the way that we are engaging with you and the way that we want you guys to engage with us. I think that from the market changes, I think that we're seeing clients getting involved more and more in the way that they are looking at different technologies, the way that they are getting involved with the business, and the way that they are trying to get and achieve more value with outsourcing. I think that they are seeing significant global competition going up, a lot of different variations in the market that is just really making them change the way that they think and change the way that they are trying to engage with the different providers and internal service delivery teams. We're also seeing how technology is being disruptive with the digital technologies and everything as a service. That is really changing the way that they are engaging with you. You guys are seeing this now as the second and third generation outsourcing deals come to play, how clients want to engage differently, want to apply different technologies, and it's just not looking at engaging you on a tower base necessarily, but just looking at things from a more transformational way. And looking at the overall different models, I think that we are continuing to see different multi-source environments. We are continuing to see deals that are shorter in terms and disruptive. Clients are now more involved. There is technology in every aspect of the business. So the way that we are engaging and the way that you are engaging with your clients is now different, which all of this is really one of the reasons why you are here today, which is to learn from us how Avasant is adjusting the overall approach, and we want to work with you and the way that you want to work with us so we can enable you to be successful. That is the critical thing that I want to share with you today, is how Avasant can help you be successful as you engage with your clients, with us being your advisor. We are no longer the traditional sourcing advisors as you know it. Our competitors are doing a lot of RFPs, all of those things. As we continue to do this, we are more of management consultants now involved with the business, involved with you, and changing the way that we add value to our clients. That is really the difference. And how we are making those changes is how we want to engage with you and how we want to play in the overall ecosystem with our clients and with the provider community. We want you guys to eventually not being looked at service providers as providers of technology, but being looked at as strategic partners, as partners that are engaged with clients differently, not just lift and shift, not just bringing resources and just doing staff augmentation. We want you to change more into becoming more partners with your clients, so you begin to be part of the business, have a skin in the game, things of that nature. So as we begin to change the way that we work with you, we want to establish the right parameters to enable you to keep your existing accounts. As Kevin was mentioning earlier today, there is a lot of accounts in which there are incumbents, a lot of accounts in which you are already engaged, and we want to make sure that as we engage with our clients, we share enough information and we share what we know on what's going on internally with those clients and around the overall strategic thinking, so we can enable you to make adjustments to your delivery team, make adjustments with the way that you are thinking about engaging with them, and be able to be successful in the cases in which it can either be a sole source kind of a deal, or in a way that that you can be in a position to compete better. We want to get you more face-to-face time with your clients before decisions are made. As we're going to see here shortly in some of the slides, our approach now and engaging with you is allowing you to have more face-to-face with the clients. I think that one of the differences between us and our competitors are how we are trying to get you more in front of the clients before decisions are made, so there is more collaboration, there is more opportunities to have meaningful conversations about solutions, about the value that you bring to them and how they can better leverage your skills, competencies to add value to the overall, to the business in general. For some of you that are trying to get into new logos, we want to provide you with the right setting to enable you to make a good impression. We want to make sure that as you get invited to different accounts, we share with you the information that we have, and we coach you so you can be positioned properly to share the right kind of information with our clients. Clients are getting smarter. Clients are getting more particular in a way that they're engaging with you and with us. So they are wanting to get more value out of the conversations. They don't want to hear the entire sales pitch every time. I think that they know who you are, they know your capabilities. But what they want to know is what you guys are doing different. Technologies are changing, service delivery models are changing, so they want to know what is what you guys bring to bear and how you guys could partner with them. Just not as service providers, delivery of technology, but as partners that can add value to the business. That is what we're seeing with our clients. So more and more they tell us, we don't want to see the sales guys here. We just want to see the architects. We want to see the solution guys, the deal guys, the guys that are going to help us put this thing together. When we are working with our clients now, we're telling them, look, there is just not one way of looking at things. There is just no one right answer. There is several answers, and you bring those ideas to the table. I think that I have probably met most of you, and we have some engagements now in which most of you are, experience this today. We want you to bring your ideas to the clients. We want you to have the opportunity to have that kind of collaboration and that kind of information exchange so they learn more about what is at play and how can we create an ecosystem in which one of you or three of you can be part of that solution in a way that it adds value to the business. Provide you with the opportunity to better understand the client requirements. I think that no longer we have the dates in which we will create an RFP and we'll send it over the wall, give you with some procurement rules, and you guys have to interpret it, guess what's that all about, and come back with the answer. We want to have the opportunity to share with you the client requirements, as we're going to see here shortly. We want to collaborate more so you understand up front what we're dealing with. By doing that, you have the opportunity to decide if you want to participate in that kind of deal, or two, give you the opportunity to assemble the right teams that can have the right answers to the clients and solutions to them. Enable you to ask questions and allow the clients to ask you questions. This is really critical. The more face-to-face time that we enable you to have with the clients, the more questions you will be able to ask, and the more questions the clients will be able to ask. Especially for some of you that are trying to get into new accounts, they don't know you. So they're going to ask you questions, but that is why it's so important to have conversations with the solution team, the people that know what the situation is all about. Enable you to show your innovative delivery models and pricing approaches. I think that, as I was saying before, slowly we're beginning to see outsourcing becoming more of a partnership. Second and third generation deals are just becoming transformational in nature. So clients are interested in seeing different approaches, different pricing models, different types of partnerships. So this is an opportunity as each of you begin to think out of the box, begin to think how to deliver those values to the customers, it is the time to show it to them. Provide you with the right information to make pursuits decisions. Again, when you know things up front, when you are able to get that kind of information from us or from the client directly, you will be able to decide, and we're seeing that in some of our deals. Maybe it's just not for you. Maybe it's not something that you do well, and you don't want to invest your dollars in something that you might not win, and if you win, you cannot make any money. And position you properly to be successful. We do this in 2 different ways. One, by having all this information exchange along the way, but also working with our clients, getting them ready to be able to work together with you. One of the things that we are continuing to see for the last few years is the lack of client readiness. You are not coming in to the clients to resolve their problems. You are coming to the clients to be partners and to deliver value to the business. So we are pushing back to our clients and telling them they are not coming here to resolve your problems. We need to get you to the right level of readiness from different perspectives, so they are ready from where you come in, when you join that partnership, to be able to add value to the business properly and effectively and profitably. So what I'm saying here is to position you properly to be successful is working with the clients so they have the right level of readiness, so when the engagement begins, you are positioned in a way that you're going to be able to deliver successfully and be profitable. That is key. We don't want you guys to get into deals or into different engagements in which you guys will fumble at the beginning or just not make any money. Provide you with as much information as we can so you can plan as far out as possible. I think the predictability here and being able to forecast is critical in your business. So we want to provide you as good as we can the overall future state vision of the client, have them explain that to you so you understand well what is where you're getting yourself into, how can you partner better with other organizations, and how can you really become partners and offer those different service delivery models. And structure the deals to allow you to be profitable, again, and good margins. It is all about you all for profit, and we don't want to engineer or architect an ecosystem for the clients in which we are squeezing your margins. We are educating our clients every day so they understand the importance of building an environment that allows them to be successful and the providers to be successful. So that is really critical, and I think that you all have heard this before, but I think that from the Avasant perspective and how we are working very hard with our clients to get us to that point. We have to push back on them, and we push back on you, but we get them all together so we can engineer a deal that it is profitable for you and that delivers the value to our clients. So let's just talk a little bit about the Avasant philosophy and how we are getting there, which is one of the main reasons why you're here today. So as we look at the clients changing the way that they want services to them, we are changing the way that we are engaging with you guys. So how do you guys engage with Avasant? Here today, you have the opportunity to meet a lot of the leaders, a lot of the vertical leads, and a lot of the solution leads. And when you see an opportunity or when you're engaged with one of your clients, it is important to connect with the right Avasant executives or leaders so you can begin to exchange information about what the opportunity is all about. It is important to understand what Avasant does, what Avasant doesn't do, and how Avasant can bring value to this opportunity. Critical to initiate the dialogue early on. I think that the more we collaborate, the more that we talk about the opportunity, what's at stake, and how can we best come up with a solution that adds value to the clients is really critical. And establish the path to enable a good kind of relationship. I think that you work with different advisors, you talk to different people, and you need to understand when the right situation is when you engage with the Avasant teams. And ensure involvement of senior leadership. I think that we have a lot of relationships at the executive level, so do you, and I think that as we begin to see more deals that are based on transparency and collaboration, it is important to have those dialogues at front. So as I keep talking about what are we doing things differently and how we're engaging and doing things different with you, we're doing it from 2 different perspectives, from the client perspective and from the provider perspective. From the client perspective, it's just really enabling providers to be successful. And this is what I keep telling you, how the Avasant teams are beginning to push back into the clients and spending more time in our engagements so we can add value at the operating level so we can establish the right level of readiness. So what does that mean? When we talk about enabling you to be successful in the accounts, we're looking at the organizational readiness. We're looking at the proper competency and capability on the client side. I think that A lot of you experience multiple times dealing with clients that they don't have the right individuals that you need to be working with. They don't have the right capabilities. And in certain cases, they don't have enough capacity. Clients come back in many cases and say, well, they're going to have to do it for us. Just the vendors are going to be doing this for us. It is just not the way it works. You guys know that. It is just working with them to make sure that they have the right capacity, the right teams, the right structure to be able to work properly with your teams. Effective role relationships. The way that the tower-based, all SOWs used to work are really beginning to go away. And I think that a lot of you have experienced a lot of transition problems and operational challenges along the way because there is a lot of white spaces. There is not enough role relationship on the client side. So there is all the things that, oh, we thought that you guys were going to be doing this. Oh, we didn't think that my team needed to be doing this. So there is all this kind of back and forth going around with different teams trying to figure out who is going to be delivering what, who is going to have to do, whatever they need to be doing. So working with our clients to ensure that there is the right role relationship and process relationship so everybody knows what to do and how to engage properly with you. And having the proper vendor management office and governance capabilities. I think that this is a topic that's been going on for a long time, but we are continuing to see a lot of immaturity with our clients in the way that they try to manage you. A lot of organizations do not have the right vendor management office or governance capabilities, and the ones that kind of do have that function in place doesn't necessarily have the right individuals and competencies to be able to do things properly and effectively. So again, it's just, having all of those things in place that will make a difference when you engage with your clients. From the operational stability, critical to have the process interaction, the right process interaction, so we ensure that, again, based on the white spaces, everybody knows what to do, that is process-driven. So as you bring your processes to the clients, they understand how they will be able to engage with you. Effective operational alignment. I think that as we look at a large ecosystem, different organizations delivering different services, I think that having the right operational alignment is really critical. So everybody knows their play and to be able to deliver those end-to-end services. And having an active service orchestration. How do we make everything work at the end of the day? How do, going back to your profitability, going back to how do you manage your resources and your engagement, is really ensuring that we have the right orchestration in the overall ecosystem. So we work with our clients to ensure that all these things are in place, that they have the right level of readiness. So when you engage with them, you engage properly from the operational standpoint. That is critical. And then when we are working with you, we want to make sure that you are successful at the same time. We, from the Avasant perspective, we want to make sure that there is an absolute success at the end of the engagement. And I'm not talking about a sourcing engagement, I'm talking about an engagement. Because engagement are just not sourcing engagements, as I was saying before. We're talking about transformational engagements, innovative engagements. So it is a combination of many different things. So we are working with you now, and some of you are experiencing some of this in some of our engagements already. So how do we do this? We want to provide you with more coaching. We want you to work closer with us. We want to work closer with you so we can coach you on the client, on the situation, and how to engage properly. And we're seeing this in a couple of our large deals that we have going on right now. Effective client engagement. We want to have that conversation up front. We want to coach you on what the situation is, what are the challenges that we have ahead of us, what are the things that we need to be looking for, and how to do things differently and better so we can manage client expectations and add value and bring value to them. Better preparation. I think that we want to avoid you to be guessing what to do, we don't want you to be guessing what's next. We want to have that information available for you so you can have some predictability, so you can have proper planning, bring the right players, and have the right solutioning when you engage with your clients. And having the right teams is critical. As part of our coaching, we want to make sure that you guys bring the right individuals to the table. We know the clients, we know what they're looking for, and we'll share that information with you. And it's critical to bring the right teams. I think that we're seeing that some of you have had some bad luck in certain engagements because the right team didn't show up, and we don't want to see that happening. We want to make sure that we engage the right individuals and we put them in front of the client. This is This is, every time that you have face-to-face with the clients, it is another opportunity to get to know each other. There is another opportunity for you to share what you bring to the table, and an opportunity for you to add value to what they're looking for. And then more client interaction. I think that's what we are trying to orchestrate, and the biggest change, again, is having working sessions and exchange as much information as possible so we can arm you with everything that you need to know to be able to properly either respond to the RFP or have good, meaningful conversations with the clients. The more meaningful conversations we have with the clients in those working sessions, the better you are. And enables targeted solutions. The clients today want to hear your ideas, your point of view, your innovative way in which you are really changing the game. Like I said before, there is not one single answer, so they want to hear from you. That is why we are doing these sessions with them. So you have the opportunity to share your point of view. That is going to be different than your competitors. But it gives all of you a fair chance to have that interaction with the client without having to guess what you guys are going to be talking about. So again, it's all about collaboration and transparency in the process. We, as management consultants working with the clients and working with you, will enable this. And at the end of the day, you will see how much successful you're going to be and how much profitable you're going to be in your engagements. The sourcing approach that we have, I think that most of you are familiar with it, and I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the overall approach. I mean, we do the sourcing strategy, the sourcing transaction, implementation, and overall management. But how we're doing it is we're doing it a little bit different. Our approach is now shorter. We have a simpler process. We're looking at things now in a more simplistic way, so we don't spend a lot of time in things that really will not matter to the client or will not matter to you. We are making emphasis on the provider success and client readiness. Like I said before, we want to make sure that the clients are ready for you when you engage, and that you are as prepared as possible before you engage with the clients as well. Our approach is now more collaborative and interactive. As we're going to see here shortly, we are creating different, I wouldn't call them gates, different touch points in which we're going to have collaboration, direct collaboration with the Avasant team, and direct collaboration with the clients. Looking at different alternative sourcing models. We're just not looking at the old legacy sourcing models that we have been accustomed to for the last few years, but looking at how else do we need to be delivering these things? What transformation and innovation we bring to the clients and to our engagements. That could include transformation, some sourcing, a different delivery model. That is what is changing. And over time, in the next 3 or 5 years, we're going to begin to see less and less tower-based engagements and more transformational engagements in nature. And I think that I have shared with some of you, try not to go to talk to the clients about towers, just, infrastructure applications. They all have to have it, but they are looking at it differently. Focus on transformation, not just on ongoing services. It is not a lift and shift. It's just not about bringing resources and having labor arbitrage. It's just about becoming partners with your clients so you can bring that transformation as you go along. And focus on the implementation. I think that a lot of you and a lot of us sometimes in the past have been focusing on architecting a good solution. But I think that we need to make sure that as we get ready, as we get the clients ready, we need to get you guys ready for a successful implementation. And I'm not calling this transition. I'm calling this implementation, which is a little bit of transition and integration, what they already have. There's going to be winners and losers, guys. But it's a fair game, and that is what I want to make sure that you understand as part of this approach is some of you are going to win, some of you are going to lose. But as part of this process, we want to make it as transparent as possible, and when there are winners and losers, you guys are going to know why, and you guys are going to feel it, because it's just not us sitting in the back telling the client, oh, this is who you need to choose, this is why. You guys are going to have that face-to-face time with the clients that is going to allow you to feel am I feeling it or not? Is the client feeling it or not? So it is a more transparent approach that it is beneficial for you and is beneficial for the clients. It's just unfortunately not everybody's going to win. So when we look at our collaborative approach, here is a view of our sourcing strategy, and very soon we're just going to call it overall strategy. We have now 3 different touch points that we want to engage with you or engage you with the clients. So first of all, when we get in front of the client, when the client retains Avasant, we want to make sure that as we understand what the situation is about, when we understand their business drivers, the overall future state vision, what they're trying to do and why, we want to sit down with you and do kind of an engagement overview and talk about the overall opportunity, to discuss similar things that we're seeing in the market, ask you guys to share with us what you guys are seeing in the market in relate to this particular situation, and look at the overall opportunity and the different sourcing approaches, kind of brainstorm at the beginning. So the benefits of doing this and having this overview at the beginning is this something that you're interested in? Is this something that you already have a very strong competency and capability that you want to work with us? Or this is something that you just don't have any interest in? So it is a good opportunity to begin interacting and sharing that kind of information that at the end will enable us to come up with a better solution. Again, the clients know a lot more than they used to before, so it is important for us to be able to share with them what we know and what you know. Capability overview. So as we go through the process, we'll do an assessment, and then we'll do the financial model and the overall scenarios and how this engagement could be play out. And when I'm talking in scenarios, I'm just not talking about sourcing scenarios. I'm talking about engagement scenarios, because it could be a little bit of sourcing, a little bit of transformation, or all together. Then we want to have a capability overview session with you, which is basically now we know more details. Now we know potentially how this engagement could be a structure. So we want to sit down with you and be more specific about this particular opportunity. A lot of the advisors do market scans just based on public information or based on the information that you share with them. But you are changing very rapidly. And we can't keep up with everything that you guys are doing all the time. Even if we have briefing sessions, everything else, it is difficult to retain everything, and we don't want to go back and take a look at a briefing document that you sent to us 6 months ago, because a lot of things have probably changed. So we want to engage with you to take a look at your capabilities that apply very specifically to this particular situation. So it really enables you to bring what you are doing today about that particular opportunity, to talk about the credentials, and basically give us the information that we need to have a comprehensive and very targeted market scan that we can share with our clients. We want to bring to them your capabilities, your real capabilities for that particular scenario. We don't want to talk to them about everything that you do. You go this way. We want to talk about very specifically what this opportunity is all about. Then we have the one-on-one sessions before the strategy is defined. When we look at the engagement strategy, there's a lot of different ways to do it, and we want your input. Some of you are living this right now with us in a couple of engagements and have lived what the one-on-one sessions are all about. It is all about, so before we finish the strategy, before we finish and build how we're going to go at it, we want to get your input. So we want to get your input in a very specific and tactical way. We want you to bring your solution guys. We want you to bring your architects, the deal makers in a way, not from the sales perspective, but from the how we're going to do this, right? And this is a good opportunity to show how would you potentially deliver this kind of deals. How do you suggest to the client that this thing could be done? We want the clients, and the clients are asking for this. They're asking for the market to share with them your ideas. We share our ideas, they have their own ideas, but if you bring your ideas, we'll come up with the best model, and the best model that is going to work for all of you. So again, it's not about a sales pitch, it's not about a capabilities overview. It is a very focused and targeted working session. In that working session, you have the opportunity to ask questions. The client has the opportunity to ask questions, and in the cases in which you don't know each other, just to get a good impression. Clients are just not just looking at building these models and said, well, I'm just going to go with this and that, but maybe you bring something that I'm interested in, maybe something that I didn't think about. Again, The dark blue are the client interactions, the light blue are the Avasant interactions. So this is how we get into forming the overall strategy and how we want this to be in a more collaborative fashion. Then when we go into the overall evaluation and selection process. So here is, again, we're going to have different touch points. And before we get into prepare the RFP, we want to provide you again with an engagement update, where we are in the process, at a high level, what's been decided from the overall strategy perspective, what potential models are we looking at, what transformation opportunities we could be engaging with. So this is another opportunity for us to share where we left out as part of the strategy and validate and understand from you that this is the way that we need to be going. Then we're going to have the pre-RFP release sessions. Another opportunity that you have not seen before, and I don't think that you do this with anybody else, is before we issue an RFP in competitive cases, we want to have sessions in which we share with you what the RFP is going to be all about. And we want to know a few things from you. We want to know, does this make sense? Is it complete enough to enable you to provide a good response? We want that kind of feedback. Are we going in the right direction? And an opportunity for us to share with you what the client is expecting. And this is a session with the client. We want to provide that kind of transparency so you know exactly what you're going to have to work on when you get the RFP. It reduces the time that you're going to be wasting guessing what does the client want. You don't have to guess, well, is this kind of what they're thinking? It really enables you to be very targeted and to work on the things that is going to make a difference to get you selected to participate in these kind of engagements. So again, it's a very good way to share that kind of information and to ask questions and for you guys to manage expectations as well as the client. And then we're going to have the oral presentations. The oral presentations are going to be a little different than the typical oral presentations. We don't want you to bring 15, 16 people and do the overall pitch. Again, the clients know who you are. The clients have been working with you. The clients understand how things are going to work. We want to be more targeted about how this particular engagement is going to be. We're going to fast forward in the future to make sure that things work, and clients want to see the real thing. That is really the big change here that we're seeing with our clients. They want to see the real thing, and that's what we want to bring your attention on. So, an opportunity to present the requested solution, to provide the innovative approaches that you guys are bringing to the table. Bring your delivery team, and don't sell. The clients, second and third generation, they know you. You don't need to bring your sales team. It's an opportunity to have an executive exchange, of course, and to really show how you're going to be doing this. So it's a good opportunity to get the commitment from the executive perspective and to bring the guys that are going to do this. The guys that are going to be working with them, they want to get that chemistry. And then in certain cases, you're going to see some case studies. Clients, as they begin to change the way that they engage, they want to give you a scenario and said, a very particular scenario, not to test you, a very particular scenario that applies to them, and say, how do we do this? How would you guys do this, and how can we work it out things together? Some of the differences, again, and what we see in our clients, they are more engaged now, they are more technically savvy, and they are more business-driven. They want you to understand their business. It is not about IT metrics, IT KPIs. Those things are they're just beginning to wow away. It's just looking at the business transformation aspect of it and how we bring that collaboration and that value to the business. So again, it's to demonstrate that capability, to role play in a similar situation. Clients want to relate on how you will deliver these services to them. They want to relate to them, and that is how they're going to begin to feel comfortable. And feel that they have the accountability. The accountability that is going to go both ways. You want to feel their accountability on how they will be engaging with you, and we want the clients to feel your accountability on how you're going to be engaging with them. Again, it's a two-way street. I have seen cases in which I've heard from you saying, we don't see the client as engaged. We don't see the client, moving forward in a way that we should be seeing them. So we want to hear that because that's what we want to tell the clients. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful. They're going to be successful. Nobody's going to be successful. So that is why we want to make a difference here with you and the way that they want you guys to deliver services. It is changing the service provider view to a strategic partner engaging directly with them as a business partner. That is really the critical part. And this afternoon, when we have the opportunity to sit together, I want to get your feedback on this approach. I wanna get your ideas on how to make this work better for you, and how do you see that we can make this work better for the clients. And then when we look at the overall transition and sourcing implementation, you know, the typical pillars, right? Communication and change management, the overall transformation, vendor management, retained organization, and operational alignment. Again, it is really critical that we enable you to be successful. Having a holistic approach of implementation, direct engagement with the providers from the beginning to the end, and ensuring that overall integration, collaboration, is just not pure transition. Again, it's just not doing a transition, it's just taking a look at everything holistically. Having the right service orchestration and collaboration, again, from that perspective, the right integration among all the players, and how do we engage the leaders to ensure accountability, always looking at things for the long term. Again, the implementation of the engagement is critical. A lot of, you know, even if a lot of the teams, a lot of the individuals go away after the engagement is architected, we want to make sure that everybody's engaged from the beginning to the end. And then ultimately, I don't know if some of you have heard about our latest line of business, which is managed governance services. We have been pioneers in the way that we implement vendor management to our clients, and we have beginning to hear, we began to hear in the last 2 or 3 years how clients just didn't want to be in the VMO business. Clients have struggled tremendously to build the VMO capabilities, and the VMO is changing. The VMO continues to be a hard sell internally, but they continue to be a necessary element to be able to manage relationships effectively. So the VMO is changing the way that it is just moving from the pure outsourcing models to more transformational. You know, how do you do sourcing, and how do you validate and do, you know, reporting, you know, service levels and overall metrics from the business perspective. So how we're changing things is just critical. So the VMO is just really not the way that we used to see the VMO and governance. So Avasant now has the managed governance services, which is essentially running the VMO for our clients. It is a very simple business case for them because they don't need to get into this business. They don't want to get into this business. They cannot get qualified people, and in our largest accounts, we are continuing to see how much they struggle running a vendor management office properly. So again, this is something that Jim Lee and Janet will be able to share more with you and explain further what this is all about, but this is something that we already have a couple of large accounts in which we are delivering these services, and it really, really makes a difference. So again, you know, this is what I want to share with you in terms of how we want you to engage with us and how we want to engage with you to enable you to be successful with the clients. I think that this afternoon we'll be able to talk more about this, and we want your feedback. We are partners. We want this to work. We want our clients to be happy. Thank you very much.